So the miss came back, to be sung to the tune of "The Cat Came Back," except I didn't miss it. Didn't miss the cat either. Well, it's had this persistent miss that goes away and then comes back. Mostly it comes back and doesn't go away. So this time it wouldn't start in the cold of winter because it only had about 6 cylinders firing out of 8. 3/4 ain't good enough. So I'm trying to find out what is causing this problem, and I do actually find it, and there's a surprise at the end. So stick with it, and hopefully this will help you if you have a similar problem. Stay tuned. Back on the 86. It's called Dogged Determination. And we ain't talking lapdog. Why don't I give up sometimes? Anyway, there is rust in the fuel line still, I think, because now it's back to running on 7 cylinders. So I'm thinking one of the injectors is either failed or blocked. So I'll get them out and give them a good check since they've been in there for a while. So to do that, one of Ford's not so better ideas was when they first started fuel injection, it was multi-port, which was good. It was twin plenum, which is good. But they have this kind of ram's horn manifold. And the bottom there where the bolts are sits where that rag is. And so it comes over on one side like this. Covers the valve cover. So if you have to do anything with a valve cover gasket, you've got to remove the intake manifold. Want to do anything with the injectors, got to remove the intake manifold, the air filter bracket, which is all over here. And then unbolt the fuel rail, which is normal. Somehow get the fuel line disconnected. I'm not sure exactly how yet. And then pull the whole works out, and then the injector should pop out. I might have to make something to do that with. So here we are. And I think the first thing I will do is I will ohm the solenoids for the fuel injectors, just to make sure one of them isn't dead. One thing I should point out, this vintage, they have this special bolt, and I flattened the sides of it so I could get it out initially, but my hand barely fits through that opening in the manifold, get underneath it. This is in the middle, it was down through there. See that? Just see where the bolt goes down there. So to get that out, so for that bolt that's down by the manifold on the inside, you need a 6-inch long Torx bit, and this is a 40, T40. So that's what you need for the bolt. Turns out this is all I need to remove the injectors. What I did was just pry against the injector, which went in there. Where are we here? There it is. So I just pried against the shoulder gently and popped them up bit by bit, working along, not doing too much at once. And then I will do this one as well on this side. A little more hoses and wiring in the way, but see how this goes. And then I have to reduce or open up those lines at the back, I think, in order to get everything cleaned out. So I popped out the rails, and then you can pull them out by hand from these receptacles here. Where am I? Right there, 4 of those. And then you see the O-rings on top. I'm going to try and get some new O-rings, top and bottom. I've greased them just so, with silicone grease, just so they pop back in and I can plug the hole. But I have hooked each of those up to 12 volts. The pinhole moves, which is the spray sort of needle, the bottom of the injector. and I've blown them out, and I used my lungs to put pressure on them and then attach them to the 12 volts, and I can blow through them. So they are working. I haven't checked the spray. I just haven't bothered hooking up anything that does that kind of work. So I will now move to the next side, but that's a bit concerning because the other ones did all seem to work before. So, and all the resistances are good on all 8 of them. There's 14.5 ohms is what I'm getting, which is about right on this style. So those 4 are working. And now I will check and see if I can get some O-rings fairly quickly. I've got 2 injectors that are quite restrictive. I cannot blow through them very much at all. So what I did with this one was I put in some sensor clean, let it sit for a minute, applied power to it, and put an air nozzle on it, and it broke free. And now I can blow through there fairly easily. The pressure on the air nozzle was around 70 pounds, which is, I'm not sure what these systems run at. I think it's around 60 pounds. And that seemed to work. So I ordered seals anyway, and there is a nylon seal here that goes right there. So what you do is you put this gently in a vise. Don't crank it. Then this cap sits in this groove here. So if you put this in the vise at the right level, you can use a screwdriver, or 2 screwdrivers would be better, and just gently pop that off. And then you can get at the nylon washer, and you can get at the O-ring easily without having to run it over the edge here. But you need it off to replace that nylon washer. So tomorrow I get the kits, the O-ring and the nylon. I'll do all 8. And so on to the next one. See if I can break that free. Here's some bad news I wasn't expecting. The kits I got do not have these nylon washers. So, and I also found that not all of them want to pop off very well. So I'm just putting the O-rings over top of that. I'm not disturbing it. I'm also finding that today must be something wrong with me. I can't blow through them anymore, even when they're activated. I'm not sure where that leaves me. But I've replaced one of them with a new one. The one that was the worst yesterday. And I put new O-rings on. I'm putting silicone grease on them so that they go in without getting damaged into the port. And then I'll hook them up and put the rail on and see what we get. I should point out that this is a tool to put the O-rings on. Put it over top of here and slide them down in this direction, like that. Same on the bottom, I think. I haven't tried that. Yeah, fits there as well. There you go. So the injectors are in, the rails are on. I tapped them down with a rubber hammer to make sure they're completely seated, and they're right down, the shoulders are right down to the connectors basically. So that should be good. I've tightened them up. Got the clips, retaining clips back on the fuel lines, both the feed and the return. Everything's out of the way. I'll put the distributor back together over there. I just took the bottom shoulder out of it. Over here on the bench. So I will screw that back on, put the rotor in, cap back on, and then I will put the manifold on. It's running a lot better now. Still, you can see it's shaking a bit. But I found one cylinder was dead, so I replaced the wire with one that I had just lying around. And the old one ohmed okay, but I replaced it, and now it's running basically on 8 cylinders. So I'm going to replace the whole set. Obviously they're breaking down. I've already replaced 3 of them, so it's not worth trying any longer. And I need ones with the proper boots anyway on the plugs. So, it wasn't the injectors after all. But I did prove they work, so that's good. There it is. Degraded plug wires breaking down. You see I've got one loose there that I pulled on. That might explain the stumble. See if I can push it in. Okay, that little bit that's left, I think I will let it, I'll drive it, and then we'll see if it's improves or not. The engine has been sitting for a long time, so I'm not going to worry about that at the moment, but it is running on 8 cylinders. Hooray! Finally! Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or even notify, or any of the above, or all of the above. Thank you.